Happy Wisdom Wednesday, Sparrows. Coming into the room. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. Hi, Jess. Antonio. Hello, Deborah Dixon. How are you doing tonight, cousin? Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Hopefully you've had a great day today. Sit back, relax. Hello, Subast. How are you this evening? Hello, hello, hello. Tell me about your Wednesday. We've got a great guest coming on tonight. We're going to be talking about her new book that's going to be coming out. So if you can share where you're watching from, that would be grand. While I'll sit and catch my breath for a moment. It's always running around every single Wednesday. I'm running. And it is so hot. It's so hot. Oh my goodness. I appreciate you all stopping in. Courtney Wright, hello. Welcome to the room. Hi, Veronica Morris. Good evening. Good to see you, sissy. I didn't have an opportunity to read your text yet, so I'll read it afterwards. Tallahassee City, Indiana. Great. Thanks you for stopping by. I'm always curious every week as to who's dropping in. I'm meeting so many people every day, so it's nice to see where you are viewing from. So be sure to like, love, go crazy in the room tonight. Be sure to share. Let's definitely do that. We have Canada in the house, Ontario. Thank you so much, Renee Lewis. Welcome to the room. I'm giving it, just a few minutes so Anna can come in, and then we'll go ahead and talk about this tonight. We're going to have author to author. And I love the juiciness of author to author. Being an author myself, it's always fun to speak with other authors and talking about the topics of what they're talking about and, how I live. As you all know, I am Valerie Miller, the Valerie Miller of TVM. And TVM is double fold. Of course, it's TVM, as in the Valerie Miller. However, it's also this very moment you have option to change. And when we choose change in our lives, we choose the best for ourselves. It's continual, education and diversity and learning who we are, because we never remain the same. We're never the same person for a long period of time. So TVM is personal branding of me. It's all about my conscious change coaching and strategizing. Some things that, I've got in the mix to round out the remaining of the year and going into the new year as well. It's almost time for resolutions. I don't see Anna just yet, so I'm going to give her a couple more minutes. How was Wednesday for you all? Has it been a fabulous Wisdom Wednesday? Tell me something good that happened to you today. I have a couple of Circes. I was brought to tears not once but twice today. Oh my goodness, I've been in my feelings all day long, dealing with awesome people like yourself, different sparrows I've never met before, and knowing that what I do truly touches other people and inspires. It's just something that comes natural for me. But when I see the benefit It really touches my heart right here. So it kind of got me today. So how has it been for you all? It's the middle of the week, hump day. A couple more days for the weekend. However, it seems like the weekend for me every single day. That's what happens when you can, be inspired to work for yourself. It's extremely hard, however, very well worth it. But like I said, be sure to let me know how you are, what you like. Please engage. It's going to be some great things, as the topic tonight is consciousness and happiness equals fabulous. That's going to be topic tonight. Hi, Gwen. Hello. Oh, Veronica Morris says that it's been a wonderful day, and she's been in her feelings also. And it happens sometimes. Tears is good. When you're shedding tears for something fabulous, then let them fall. Let them fall, because it's just an indication that you are doing something all the way fabulous. That's the way I see it. That's exactly how I see it. So we're giving technology opportunity to get Anna in here. I have not heard from her since earlier this afternoon, so we are on the same page. I can't send her an invitation because she's not on the line yet. Happy tears, yes. Absolutely. So, just embrace it. It doesn't help with the weather either right now. The weather has been, really wet for the past several days, and that can kind of dampen your spirit just a little bit. However, sometimes you embrace that, because that's a great time to, show yourself a little self-love, take some baths, burn the candles, put on some great music, those types of things. Whatever makes you happy. It is Nurturing November. Keep that in mind. So do something to nurture you every single day. This month and beyond is going to be vital to your own personal well-being. And the happier you are, the happier the people are that are around you. That is a fact. It is a fact indeed. That I am willing to share with you. It's not a lie. Anna is in Messenger. So I'm going to shoot her a quick text. Kind of knew this was going to happen, and it is truly okay. I'm going to ask her, where is she live or not? Are you on my page, Anna? So we can get her in. Hello, Edel. How are you this evening? I saw your live earlier today. It was fab. Great job. Very good job. And thank you for stopping by this evening, coming into the room. I really appreciate you. And just shortly, we're going to have Anna in here. And I'm going to see if I can send her an invitation, since she is on Messenger. Not yet. Not yet. It's got to be an easier way with Facebook. I always have the Facebook conversation every single Wednesday about bringing on guests. And I talk to them in advance about how to do it, but it's always an issue at the end of the day when it's time to actually press the button. I don't want to do like I did last week. I had to call my guest last week and walk him through it live. So I had not one, not two, but 3 takes. I see her just popping in. She's here. And I'm going to bring her on camera. So she should be on any moment. And I think she's popping in. So we are going to have the pleasure of Anna Talyn in just a moment. So thank you so much for your patience. And like I said, consciousness and happiness equals fabulous. It does equal fabulous. Hello, Shonda. How are you doing, Shonda Johnson? Welcome to the room. Anna, you're popping in. I see you saying adding. I'm always overjoyed when you're here. Hello.
I made it.
Yes, you did.
Technical difficulties.
Anna, I've grown to expect it. I expected.
Yeah, internet and
Yeah,
heavy rains don't mix apparently.
it doesn't, and it's really asking too much. And then you have to make all the adjustments because it's just never, ever. And I'm gonna have to move around just so I can be able to see you and this camera is situated. How are you, lady? You feel better today?
Oh, much better. Much
Okay.
better. So much good stuff going on. There's no time to feel
No
bad.
time to feel bad. I agree with you 100%. I'm trying to make the adjustments here with my camera since I try to wait until you come on and then I can do whatever to try to fit this screen. It just doesn't make any sense.
Sure.
So, happy Wisdom Wednesday. You're feeling
Thank
better?
you. You as well.
Yes. And how are things in Atlanta?
Atlanta's good. A little wet here. We've got some flash flooding, but otherwise it's
Absolutely.
great.
Yes. Are you hearing me okay? Do I need to project any louder?
I'm hearing you pretty good. Are you able to hear me?
I can. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes. So
Yeah. My voice isn't 100% yet, so
I know I don't want you to strain. I know
no
how it
problem.
is. I'm a little bit some kind of way myself. However, it's okay. I'm used to it. If I just relax just a little bit more, I think that will go away. So, with that being said, welcome to TVM.
Thank you.
Yes, coming into the room is so much we can talk about today. And as you know, as I, gave you the disclaimer, you know, it's unscripted here. I'm not one
Perfect.
to send you any footnotes of what we can and cannot talk about because when we're living an authentic life, we should share what's in our hearts and what we pretty much want to talk about. It's no different than the sun rising in the morning. We don't know what the day is going to bring. So we roll with it that way, following our wind, and that's how I feel it worthy at TVM and in the room.
Perfect.
Yes. So, like I said, everybody who is watching, please do us a favor. So, Anna and I, we've merged our fabulous followers. We've got Sparrows, and then Anna has her people coming on. So, please do us a favor to like, love, go crazy on that love button, and definitely share because it's going to be some things that we're going to talk about today. Be sure to voice whatever you'd like to say. Do not be quiet, Sparrows. Go ahead and share what you'd like to share. Ask questions. Let's engage and act like family. That's the way I look at it. And have a very good time this evening because when we're talking consciousness and happiness and merging that together, that's what you call conscious living. And then it equates to fabulous. Who doesn't want to live a fabulous life?
Right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm all for it, 100%. So without further ado, Anna is in the house, and I would like Anna to introduce herself, and then we'll just carry on because Anna has a double fold here tonight. She's talking about a merger with a book that she's written, and who is it? Tom McGee.
Yep.
So
Tom
she's
McGee, yep.
partnered with Tom McGee, and she's writing this fabulous book that's on the verge of being released. So you get it here first before she can put a period at the end of that last chapter. And we're talking
That's right.
about the possibility of happy. I'm a happy person.
Yes.
Anna's a happy person. It works hard. You have to put forth effort to be happy sometimes. Conscious.
Yeah, we definitely don't start out that way.
Yeah.
At least not in our normal lives that we
Not at
face.
all.
And
Not at all.
happiness takes a little bit work, and it's not our default state.
Uh-huh.
So
So
we
I'm
have to.
passing it over to you, dear. You go for it. And then we can just kind of carry on with the conversation.
Okay, excellent. Well, I'm Anna Talyn, and as you mentioned, I am a life coach, and I'm co-writing The Possibility of Happy with Tom McGee. Tom and I met probably, I think it was 2012 at a conference as we were both furthering our education, and we've been great friends ever since, and basically helping each other grow. So we kind of coach each other
Great.
um, and, trade tips and what works. And we both had a lot in common in our approaches to how we help folks. And we would really look, we would test our theories over and over, trying different ways to make sure they're solid before we give them to folks that we're coaching.
Right.
Tom has been researching for 25 plus years now.
Wow.
I've been going down this direction over 10, studying how to rebuild myself, how to help others as I'm doing. So what we're putting into the book is we're finding out, even though we come two completely different ways a lot of times, we get to the same destination.
Yes.
So we're combining forces and putting all that good stuff that works in this book, and in a way that is going to cover the whole self. So we cover not just the state of mind, but your physiology that goes behind these back brain processes, your
Right.
physical responses to your emotions, your feelings, everything you put in your body, kind of that whole picture from universe to soul.
And that's where we met.
Yeah.
That's how we
And I
met.
just started networking a little bit,
Yeah.
and you were one of the first people to find out that the book was coming out. And we're looking at a February, March release. So we just started taking pre-orders. We've got about 300 hours of development time into it already.
Yes.
So it's going to be great.
I am so thrilled and cannot wait to read it. And just, Sparrows, it's just nutty. The first time Anna and I talked on the phone, because we've never physically met, we connect right after I relocated from Georgia back to the Queen City. Therefore, we talked for like 4 hours plus. That's how juicy it was. That's how juicy it was. And I love engaging conversations like that. And it's very few people that we meet in a lifetime that we can have those types of conversations. So welcome to the room, all Sparrows that's chiming in. Please let us know where you're viewing from. And, Anna, when we're talking consciousness and happiness, that was a happy place for us. And we had so many stories that we shared about how we got to the place of where we are today. Because you're right, it does take lots and lots of work. And I don't know, the screen has gone dark with Anna, and she's back. Okay. However,
thank you. Keep you guessing.
Stop being a mysterious one with me.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I expect every and all things when it comes to lies. I do. It's just a part of the character of it. We never expect anything to be perfect, because perfect is non-existent. It's non-existent.
That's for frustration.
Absolutely. And you tend to smile a lot. We just have to smile and bear it, So, I told Anna my story behind my book, How I Became Fabulous and a Lady All the Time, and losing my son, losing Nicholas, and not just that, not losing one child, not two, but three. So when you lose children, that is detriment, and it's hard to be happy when you've suffered such loss, So you have to live conscious, you have to be conscious, and you're always striving to fall back up. And that's something that I say to myself, girl, fall back up. You don't fall and stay there. You have to find reason to get back up. And so it scratched the surface.
Fall up and fail forward.
Yeah. And we always have very similar analogies of things. So we crack up at that. So it goes back to like minds, like minds. And so we have so much in common. Hi, Lori Evans. I miss you. Hi, Jerica. And so I'm going to pass the baton back to you. I'm going to pass it. Back to you, because we're getting to the gist of your book. And it's so awesome that we're both coaches, that we're both authors. We've both had some ridiculous, unbelievable hardships that we've overcome. And we have reason to smile every day. So when we have reason to smile And then we choose the path because we could have easily turned left rather than right to help other people to discover where their happy is. Because without happiness, we have nothing in life. So take it.
Yes. Okay. Um, where my story really picks up, and there's a lot of years that go before, exciting change and growth. A lot of people only see the sprint at the end.
Yes.
Where that sprint really started is kind of through that most difficult stuff, losing children. Went through a lot of fertility challenges,
Ooh, yeah.
multiple miscarriages.
Yeah.
So we connected on that really deep.
Yes.
And we suffered in silence because it didn't feel safe to share those types of things in our culture.
Right.
And
It's taboo.
that you don't have to suffer alone. And once we started talking, it's amazing how much faster the healing process can begin. But instead of just letting it go internal and tear me apart, along with the other struggles of life,
right.
I kept finding ways to claw back to lightness and helping other people. I've always kind of been the mediator.
Yes.
Through my life growing up, I would jump in between conflicts and be like, well, how about this and this?
Yes.
It's not always the safest thing to do. Sometimes people get pretty aggressive in their disputes.
Yes.
But that's just naturally what I try to do. I just naturally reach out to people, want to help them heal. And I knew that I needed to be more active in that.
Right.
I would kind of do that in the people in my life, but I wasn't reaching out. I wasn't growing. And my world had gotten really small and dark. And I used that to help fuel moving forward because I knew if I didn't have movement, it was going to go down or backwards.
Yes.
Neither of those were good places. I'd already been there. Don't need to be there anymore.
Didn't stay there. No.
You only need to break down once or twice before you realize, hey, that's not so great.
Right.
And excuse me.
It's okay.
Still recovering. So yeah, from that point, it was quite a journey. I started exploring spirituality deeper. I started exploring political beliefs. I started exploring health beliefs.
Right.
I started taking really bold steps. And I realized early on that possibility takes movement. So once I realized there was nothing else I could do in my situation, didn't matter how much anxiety or fear I had, I would just leap of faith forward. There was a time that I was going to lose the house, baby at home, broken car, and I found an opportunity that just felt right in my soul.
Yes.
And I bought the cheapest car at the dealer I could get, drove to a job interview, talked myself into a job that didn't even exist. They created a position for me, and I worked my way back up. And all of that was because I knew that possibility takes movement. None of those things should have happened. Most people, it would not have gone that way. But when you get in the right energy, the right state of mind, the right state of gratitude, and ready to help other people, you can transform your life in a very short period of time.
Exactly.
Once you get that in your soul, and once you get the energy right.
Yes. It's a decision.
You
have to decide to do that.
The decision is so crucial.
Yeah.
But once you have it, then all you got to do is find ways to keep moving.
Yeah.
And we all stumble back a little bit. I call it the rubber band theory.
Mm-hmm.
In our growth and development, we stretch ourselves a little bit, and there's a resistance. And it feels really good in that new space, and we get excited. But that resistance pulls us back a little bit. We can get discouraged.
Right.
And sometimes then back up in our old state.
Yes.
But what's great about rubber bands is it still stays a little bigger than that first time before you stretched it.
Oh, yeah.
So each time you can expand a little bit further and a little bit further. So when you do retract a little bit, when you fall back a little, that's natural, normal part of ourselves as we're taking in this new state, new possibility, and we see new hope, corners of life that we couldn't see from our previous state.
It was too
So
dark.
that rubber band theory
Yes.
is, it's a process. You got to keep stretching that.
It,
It's not a linear path when you're trying to open yourself up, when you're trying to elevate. It's it's a winding
it
path.
is. And sometimes that rubber
Yes.
band gets tangled. Sometimes that rubber band may snap. Sometimes
Gets caught in
that
your
rubber,
hair.
yeah, it gets caught in your hair. You scream, you fall out. You know, you don't. And like you said, we do everything in private and in silence because we don't know how anybody else is going to respond to us. They have zero idea. So unless you've walked in our shoes, you have no idea what we deal with on a day to day and what happens behind closed doors. We put on the face when we walk outside. We have
Yeah,
to.
and we feel separate from each other in those
We're
states.
cut off.
And the secret is when you do share it and you do talk to other people, you find out we're not very different.
Not
And people can relate to human struggle because even if they look perfect, they're struggling too.
yes. Now I have a question from Veronica Mars. She said, "What helped you
Perfect.
make the bold steps? What helped you make that leap in decision?"
Um, Sometimes it was just desperation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it it was knowing that continuing forward would be assured destruction. Knowing that anything forward the direction I was going was going to be darkness. Um, so there was times I didn't even know what hope and possibility was.
Yeah.
I had an idea of possible,
Right.
and I chased that idea until I found another idea of possible.
Right.
What really, really moved me forward was I, I moved steadily forward by sheer willpower, but it was big life events that really helped energize my leap forward.
Right.
So losing a best friend,
Mm.
um, holding my daughter, my oldest, who's 6 now, holding her for the first time. The second I held her, I knew I had to live authentically forever going forward to set the right example.
Yes.
I had to show her that you can't be afraid to make those tough decisions because those are the ones that move you forward the most.
Right.
You can't be afraid to be yourself and just be authentic. So much energy just goes into being something and then you're not,
Exactly.
or trying. Yeah. So there's just no room for that anymore for me. My energy goes into helping people, helping myself, a positive energy rather than presenting something that's not really authentic.
Exactly.
So that moment holding my daughter, I knew forever forward, be authentic from here on out. And it was a process to get there. Um, but that's when I really took those big steps. Right after that, I met Raven. And as you're spinning up in your energy
Right.
and as you're expanding yourself,
Yes.
you meet other amazing people that are also in those states.
Yes. God bring people
So,
and present them in places when we need them most. And
so willpower, stubbornness, and life events is
yeah.
how I found enough guts and grit to do it.
And you had to. And you had your daughter to give you, you had that beautiful little angel there to look at to say, hey, this is what I've got to do. And on the flip side of that, when we were talking, it was opposite for me. I held a lifeless baby, you know, and I'm do everything in my power.
You got this. You got this.
That's the toughest thing in the world to do. And so I found my energy in focusing on how I could help other people who suffer the loss. That is the toughest, to help them. And it's almost like you can recognize them in crowds. It's a connection. It's such a connection that you have with other people. And then as
Yeah.
you engage more, we had no idea when we were talking until we kept talking. And when we kept talking, then that was the connection. And we realized it at the same time, like, oh my God, this is the connection. We've lost
Yeah.
the most precious thing, you know? And to hold a lifeless child that you love so much, that you have all these plans for, and you won't be able to do these things now. So how do you do it? How do you pick up the broken pieces? How do you restore yourself? How do you do that? There isn't a class. There isn't anybody out there that really helps the way people who are broken in places like we are. It's not there. I mean, we have grief centers, we have those types of things, but nothing specific. And that was my push. Everything that wasn't there gave me the ammunition to present it, to find it, or to create it. And that's where I am now. It's taken me 25 years to do it, but it's always been something I've done behind the scenes. It's always been a foundation, it's always been something grand. However, I stood in front of the camera instead of being somewhere by myself on October 15 this year. So rainbows have literally come to life. So by this time next year, it'll be something of a movement worldwide. I'm pushing for worldwide, for every person who's suffered any loss of a child. It doesn't matter how, it doesn't have to be stillborn, it doesn't have to be miscarriage. The child SIDS, it could be the child was murdered, it could be whatever, however you lost. It's about unifying because, like you said, we're all one. We're all one in this. We've lost to some capacity somebody grand to us. And it's about recognizing that and not keeping it quiet and sweeping it under the rug as if it's a taboo. It's definitely not a taboo. It has a voice. These are lives that needs to be remembered, that need to be respected because they had souls just like we have souls. And so I thank you for entering my life. You have been nothing but a blessing. That's why I knew it was vital to have you on this show at this time during Nurturing November because we can nurture each
Love it,
other.
love
You know, it's that type of a thing. And I'm sitting here looking crazy with red eyes up here crying. How dare
it's
I?
okay.
So, it's one of those things that it touches the
But
heart.
we're real.
We're real. And if nothing else, you're going to always, I'm authentic to the core. I'm going to give it to you
Yeah.
straight, and I'm going to give it to you straight with love. And I'm going to love you to fabulous. That's what I do. So, conscious coaching and what you're doing with, happiness, we have to bridge these things to rediscover ourselves, to be authentic and live according, you know? And it's so much more juiciness to your story. I'm going to let you elaborate more while I get myself together.
Uh, don't suffer alone, folks.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody. People
Yeah.
everywhere. It's a lot closer to find people that can relate
Yeah.
than you think. It feels so isolating and alone.
Yes.
Reach out, tell somebody. There are support groups for fertility challenges.
Oh, yes.
Did a little bit with those, and that is helpful to talk about those most
Mm-hmm.
private details with other people in a similar place.
Right.
Um, it was a 6-year journey to get both both of our children here today,
Mm.
and it basically medically they were saying was impossible. So we kept going through specialists and all the work, and we started to lose hope.
Right.
And then we knew in our heart and soul that we wanted children. We're gonna just keep finding a way.
Yes.
So it didn't matter how many specialists it took, empty the 401ks and just live on faith.
Yeah.
And at the end of all that, if we had given up at year 5 or going into year 6, it wouldn't have worked. So you don't know when your blessings are coming, and you don't know what lessons and growth you're going to get from that pain.
Exactly.
But on the other side of wisdom and on the other side of pain is wisdom.
Yes. Lots of it.
And that's a journey to get there.
Yes.
It's a journey to get there, but you'll never be the same. You'll be stronger, and you might be what somebody else needs.
Without question.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it is. Because, I mean, it's hard enough going through the attempts to conceive, you know. So going through fertilities, I remember that as well. It was not fun. It wasn't fun. So to go through all of that and still, where's the gift? Where's the gift? However, after doing that, probably for 8 months to a year, I was married at the time. And I said to my ex-husband, I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I said, this is so borderline taking conception in our own hands. If God intends for us to have a child, he'll provide us with a child. And I just don't want to force nature when things can happen naturally. And then going back to consciousness, so maybe this just isn't intended with this guy. I know it's my husband, but there was
Our back brains tell us other
yes,
information.
I think that was a blessing within itself. And in order to know to know the juiciness in that, from fairy tale to hell, yeah, that's in the book, How I Became Fabulous. You have to read that chapter because
your balloon release, that was beautiful.
Yes.
Your
Thank you.
balloon release was beautiful, and I'm so glad we met.
Thank you. Yes. It's more to do. We know there is work, and there, you know, we have voices that need to be heard, and it takes us combining as a team worldwide. It doesn't matter where you are. We can connect. We have blessings of the World Wide Web. There's no reason to not be connected with anyone anywhere at this date and time. It's not even feasible, you know? And so I would ask a question, but it's not rolling up or down right now because I know it's been a lot of things being said out here. And
we hit some big stuff already. We should
I mean,
see how people are taking it.
I know, because there are some out here who recognize it. Veronica said, yes, time to sound the alarm, you know, on the silence. And I know she's my sister, so she's had that walk as well. It's not easy. It's not easy to keep trying, and then you have hope, and then all of a sudden it's gone. Like with my ex-husband, there was conception, not when we should have. But at this time, with the loss of Christian, I nearly died myself. So that was definitely eye-opening. Am I willing to die to have a child? Because there's so many options out here for children. There's adoption. There's foster care. There are so many children that does not have homes that need homes. So that goes back to consciousness. Okay, reassess this. Reassess this. And it's still on my list.
I really like that you mentioned adoption.
Yeah.
That's still in my heart to help. So, when I'm in a place to be able to bring somebody else into the family, that going through that struggle, that's exactly what my heart told me is every single one of these children needs nothing but love.
Love is love. If your love is genuine, it doesn't matter where the child comes from. That's the way I see it, you know? Carry on. Carry on. But, you know, thank you all Sparrows who's joined the room because we get so engaged in conversation. We haven't forgotten about you at all. And Naomi Lee
We're here for you.
You're a superstar. So you got the superstar out here. And welcome to the room. And if you have any questions, if you want to engage with what we're talking about, please don't be silent. It's been too much quiet along the way, and it's time to change that. And the community has been extremely small, and it's time to expand that. It's time to expand that. And because when you are not living authentically and you are suppressing The things that has happened to you, those experiences, you're not living. You're just existing in life. So you're short changing yourself of what happiness is. Because you can be happy after loss. You celebrate even in the loss because you've been blessed for the time that you've had with the children or the absenteeism of them. I'm grateful for the time in the womb. That was the best 38 weeks. I have memories of that. I have sonograms. I have a lock of Nicholas's hair. I have his footprint. I go nowhere without his booty. His booty is always on my nightstand. It's somewhere close to me at all times. It's a reminder of my son. He will be 25 years old today. 25. And there's so many people who knows, and there are some who does not know. But you have to talk about it. Talking equates to healing. It has to be talked about. So, Anna, you got some more, honey. You got more to say. So I'm gonna pass the baton back over because I can sit and listen to your story over and over again.
Yeah, my internet's freezing up here, so I'll see if it clears up here.
Okay.
Are you are you able to still hear?
I can hear you. You are you're a little
Okay.
frozen. However, your voice and your audio is good.
We'll we'll keep moving then.
Yes.
I feel like
So
Max Headroom a little
after
bit.
I know just a little bit, and it's okay. Like I said, expect all and everything within Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Just expect it. Yeah. So tell
Where
me
would you
more.
like me to jump in on this?
Well, I mean, okay. What about phase two? You're pushing forward in so many things. Life has dealt you so many different avenues that you've had to overcome. So after the hurdles, with children and having to go through
Mhm.
fertilities and all of that, what was next in your story?
That really brought on the heels of that. Um, right around the same period was a loss of a close friend as well, and I started paying attention to the universe
Yes.
and realized that it's been screaming at me for a long time, and I hadn't been listening.
Yes.
There was spirit guides along the way,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and once you start connecting and looking for those connections in the universe,
Right.
you can sometimes find these messengers. I listen to Crow, I listen to Praying Mantis, I listen to Luna Moth, um, and I took in the lessons that they would always enter my life in a very unique way that stood out, and I would listen to what they were saying. Uh, a big part of moving forward was knowing that I couldn't stay in my tiny, shrinking darkness bubble. So I started getting out. I started finding ways to just get outside, even if it's the middle of the city.
Yes.
Start connecting to nature. Then I started opening my mind. I started looking at different spiritualities, faiths, um, different beliefs. I started testing my theories. I went to a therapist to help my journey,
Yes.
and I also just started chipping away at the things that were holding me back. Life wasn't um, very accommodating at this point to moving forward. Uh, so I just started chipping away one thing at a time. My body was starting to tear itself apart from stress, um, bad energy. I had to learn that sacrifice wasn't noble like I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loses.
Yes.
I had to learn that lesson.
Yes.
That was probably one of my biggest lessons to help me move forward, is to understand the difference of sacrifice and giving.
Yes.
And when you give, love is a multiplier. It never subtracts. So
Exactly.
that is a safe place to be. But I was sacrificing nonstop to the point where I couldn't function. My body was tearing itself apart. And just started, one thing at a time with the doctors, with um, healers, chiropractic, all of this. And I looked at diet, I looked at who I'm interacting with,
Right.
and I kind of east meets west in holistically looking at my life. Uh, the phase two is really the grit. You buckle down and you do the work. You put in the time. I would process through things. I'd always keep a couple tracks in my mind working on some things I was struggling with,
Exactly.
and those would always be going. So I was letting my back brain do a lot of the processing, so I could move through the challenges, struggles, goals very quickly in therapy. I did that for about 6 months, and then I needed to make the leap on my own because we're looking at um, changing jobs, moving out of state, completely changing my life, living authentically,
Yes.
bringing more people into that realness of who I am,
Right.
and not being afraid to start studying emotional psychology.
Right.
My life had not given me, it doesn't teach us a lot about what emotions are, how to use them, how they're tools and guides for us.
Yes.
Most of the time, emotions run us, and most of our decisions are made from emotions or back brain programming. So we do very little bit of our conscious life is actual conscious decisions. So much of it is emotions driving us instead of us using that emotion for guideposts.
Right.
So that this period of time, that phase two, is internalizing these lessons. Um, Once I started bringing in all this new possibility, light, growth, I had less and less room for all of the stuff I was holding on to.
Had to go.
And
Yes. Release them.
it, yeah, I had to start doing processes of learning how to let go,
Hmm.
what different types of attachments were.
Yes.
And uh, boy, there's so many different ways you can let go of different things. Sometimes you have to transmute it a few times
Yes.
until you're ready to let it go.
It's
So,
eye-opening.
once you create,
Yeah.
yes, once you create that energy, uh, once it's there, you can't just delete energy. So when you have a strong emotion, a strong feeling, a pain, struggle that you've been through, you need to do something with that. And if you can transform that to a different energy, see it in a different light, put it in a different spot in your mind until
Exactly.
you can do that again, re-examine it again, put it in a different spot in your mind. Um, it'd be great if you can just, oh, I'm letting go of that. But
Not so
that
easy.
process of working through that gives you the wisdom to let go. And if you haven't let go of something, you're struggling with it, there might be some more wisdom that you need to see before you can let it go.
Exactly. Because once you obtain that wisdom, it's easy to do that because you see the point in it, you understand it, and it's like, oh my goodness, I really wish I had done this before now. I really wish I
Yes.
had. But a part of the growing process is the understanding, not reacting in emotions, feeling the emotion, embracing it, knowing what it means, and then dissecting it. You have to do that before you just leap and move forward in it. So consciousness, that's not a walk in the park. It's not a
I
walk in
thought
the
you might know a thing about consciousness. Maybe this would be a good point for you to share a
yeah,
little bit about how you brought consciousness into your journey, your phase
absolutely.
two.
It was my phase two was acknowledging the fact that there was some things I had not let go. However, I thought I had. I had not.
Yes,
And
yeah,
you have a feeling. It's just like, okay, like I know I have a great life and everything is fabulous. However, something's missing. Something in this equation is missing. What is it? And everything I do, I turn to prayer. It's all about Big Brother, honey. If you hear me talking Big Brother, BB, that's God. And that's just what I call him. So the thing is, I start praying about it, praying about it. God, please show me what is missing out of my life. My goodness. I mean, everything's great. You know, relationships could be better. However, those are ongoing processes. But when I asked, the reveal was that I had sincerely not let Nicholas go. I thought I had. My gosh. So I started writing. I just felt compelled to write. I've always journaled over the years. I've always been one to write in journals.
It's a
And
wonderful method.
yes, so all my feelings and everything that happens in my life has been journaled at one phase or another. So as I'm doing that, I'm realizing, and then, you know, Big Brother says to me, you know what, Valerie, you are going to have to write. Write what? A book. Lies. I'm not writing a book. I'm not. Who's getting ready to be vulnerable to the point to where I share this? I share this? All of this? And that too? Are you kidding me? But until you release these things, talk about it, let them go, you can't begin to live. And so, okay, it took me 4 years to write this book. I started writing the book in '09, maybe 2010. Longer than that. It took me, in essence, full 7 years to release the book because I released it in 2017. In my mind, I'm writing the book as a healer for myself because the more I wrote, because I had no idea of where I was going to start, who writes a book? And so I threatened to write. I would tell friends, I got so much to say, I'm writing a book. I've got 1,000,000 books in me. Never knew I'd do it, because words are powerful. We put them out in the universe, they come back fulfilled. And so that's what happened. I started writing, completed the book, thought it was just for Valerie's healing. Big Brother has the audacity to say, you know what? You're going to publish it. Again, lies. Who's doing it? This is for me. I asked for my healing. So little did I know, by me saying my healing is not about me. I didn't write it about me. I wrote it for you and every other person that has suffered in the same space that I'm in at the time, that I have to live with every day of my life. Therefore, I had to self-publish that book. Yeah. And then it's out. And again, thinking everything is done. But during the process of time, I went to the park, the very same park of the video you saw that I did last month. I went there. Freedom Park was my happy place. I would go to Freedom Park and I could sit there for hours. It's a beautiful park, gorgeous. I could go there, read, write, whatever. I went there and had a private ceremony for Nicholas, and I let him go. I did it. This is right after he passed away. Well, a few months after. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to restore my life. I'm good. Years later, like I said, he will be 25 now. Before I could finish my book, I had to go back to Freedom Park. This time, I had to invite my family and my friends that were in my life at that time. Because while I'm in my grief, while I'm in the loss and dealing with that and everything that consumed it, I didn't think about how my family and my friends were affected by his loss. You see, I'm in this bubble of trying to repair all those holes, all those cracks, all those dents, all those things. So while I'm in the midst of that, I'm surrounded by family and friends who kept me sustained. And things like that happens in life, it's amazing how we remain sane with that type of loss and heartbreak. So before completing the book, I had to invite family back to that park to do the book, do the balloon release. And we did it, and you had to be there to understand the power that was in it. And after that, I'm okay. And it's going to be a phase 3 to that I can't even share right now. Life is a box of chocolates. We never know. what we're going to get. But but that will be shared later because it's warranting another book from that,
Yeah.
and it's phases of that. And even coming from that standpoint, the acceptance after this first book is who I became after the loss of my children. The protections, the blocks that I put up for myself, and keeping certain people at bay because I didn't want to love too much. I didn't want to care too much because I couldn't endure another loss like that. And it wasn't just children, it's family members, people that are close to you. So you start having a fear of losing because these are the people that you hold so dear, and having to get past that. And even with the second book, this one that's coming out in February, it's acceptance. I accept me. And that's accepting everything that's happened up to this point.
It's
Acceptance
such a
is
beautiful
powerful.
step.
Yeah, acceptance.
There's it
Painting a beautiful
it's so
picture.
transformative.
Yeah, yeah. And then book 3, already written. Love lessons, a brand new heart. I had to realize that it's loving yourself, loving others enough to let them go when the time is up. You can't hold on to everybody. There are going to be times people are going to come in your life, they're going to go in your life. And you need to be okay with that. And remember the beauty in the relationship. So that was it. It was
Yeah.
prayer. It was tons of prayer, family, friends, writing, writing, and sharing with those who need it. You can meet perfect strangers, and you can just, it's a covering that's over their face. It's just something you recognize within them because you remember it from yourself. So that's a part of much when it came to what I had to endure to get to this place, to even where I am now. You know, what do you do? Oh my God.
You know, you mentioned how much prayer helps you through.
Yeah.
And a big part that helped me move forward was realizing I really wasn't doing it right with prayer. And I had heard from somebody uh, in the religious community
Yes.
this wonderful quote. I didn't really know what it meant, so I kind of went, I don't know about that. And then years later, all of a sudden, that wisdom was ready for me, and I went, oh, that's what that means.
The light came
And
on.
they planted that seed because I wasn't ready for it. But they had said, when you pray, move your feet. And
Praise.
that really and that really led me to start understanding that possibility takes movement and they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And so the secret to all of it is movement, action, decisions,
Yeah.
as long as it's something forward, even if you fail forward,
Yeah.
it is moving in the right direction. So if you're at that point where you don't feel like your prayers are working, um, maybe that little nugget of wisdom will mean something to you. When you pray, move your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's dancing. It's getting in the moment and understanding what you're praying for and why. Why is the power in that? Like, why do you see it to be necessary to do that? What are you seeking in order to even pray? And make sure, what you're praying for is worthy of the prayer, because there are some things that you can do yourself that you don't need to be asking God for. Again, get up, move, seek, search, do what you have to do, you know, and
Because what you need will appear.
it will appear. I'm not sure about you, but I'm big on meditation. I pray and then I meditate. I'm a yogi. I believe in that because it's going to take full circles of things. You have to relax. You have to free your mind. You have to speak about the things that disturb you, the things that ruins your chi. Your energy is off because of these things. It's time to have a reassessment and change it. Change it. You have the power to do that. And whatever necessary, I believe in it. And love yourself enough to do it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
The excuse me. uh, Thoughts are our blueprints. Words are the suppliers
Yes.
to build what we want.
Yes.
And so it all starts in that self-awareness, consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
connecting to the universe makes those blueprints possible.
Mm-hmm.
So those thoughts, they really do create our reality. So if we can get ourselves content and maybe even happy with today,
Yes.
guess what we set ourselves up for tomorrow?
Blessing.
We're going to have more of that.
Be more. It's going to be repetitive over and over and over and over and over again. So the more you put out,
Unfortunately, you go the other way, you get more of that.
Because, we have the option of that choice.
Yeah, the universe doesn't discriminate. It just says, oh, you need that? We're sending that.
You're going to get more of it the more you put it out there. Yep. And your actions is going to give you more of it also, because why wouldn't you want to do this to have a better life? It's the sacrifice. It's what you're willing to give up or not. That's the truth at the end of the day. Some people aren't willing to give up anything to receive that fabulousness. I just don't understand it. I don't. I really don't get that. I want this, or, asking you, Anna, how do you live? How do you this and that? Or Valerie, how do you be fabulous all the time? How can you say that? I don't look like my circumstances. There's a lot of things that I had to give up in order to be who I am. I don't choose to repeat the same lifestyle over and over and over. I prefer living by the fruits. Galatians 5:22-23. That's Valerie's walk. That's it. And living conscious. And then it's a reason behind Sparrows. Sparrows, Luke 6:12-6. Look at that. You get 5 sparrows for 2 cents. They had zero value in the eyesight of man. However, God protects us all. He gives us all the ability of what we need every day. So it's your choice to do the things that you do when you can have different. Because he's already given you everything you need. Just tap into your spirit. That's consciousness. That's your walk right there. I can't say it enough. I really can't. It's so easy. Once you get it, it's easy. It's easy.
And but then we live so much of our lives are programs that we play out. And that's where when you talk about conscious living, you can, there's steps you can do to overwrite those patterns.
Yeah.
And there's a reason you're having the struggles you have and that where you are today. And once you start understanding those, what programs lead to that, you can do some work to change them, rewrite them. And there's, lots of different ways to make that happen.
Yes.
But awareness is a big part of it. It's going to be an automated program for 75% of life probably.
Sure is.
And that is going to, if you can get down into what's holding you back, why you won't let go, when you embrace change, because change is the natural order of life.
There is.
And most of us do not like change. And we cling on to what we got. We don't want to let it go. We wish for something else, but we're clutching this.
Exactly.
And you need both hands to get something else.
Exactly.
You can't just kind of go, bring it in, because you're going to run out of room. So you got to be willing to change, grow. You got to unfold yourself. The more you unfold yourself, the more you can see, the more hope you'll see. Yeah. Unfold yourself another step, and you get an even bigger perspective.
Exactly.
Unfold yourself some more. If you just picture a piece of paper folded up till you can't do it anymore, that's where most of us start. We're so compacted. That's all we can see of the world. And
Right.
each time you open it up, you see exponentially more. So what you don't think is possible today will seem elementary daily life in a couple folds. And the more you keep allowing yourself to grow and unfold, the more you see, and the more it'll help facilitate those changes. The easier it will be to let go of stuff. But some of that back brain programming goes all the way back to our beginning.
Childhood.
And
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot to stir that loose and to change the reaction from that program.
Yes,
But it's
indeed.
not impossible. But we usually have a lot of steps before we can get those super deep programs to
Uh-huh.
change, especially if you're seeing a lot of patterns in your life that you don't like. You're going to have to get into your back brain programming. So if you're
Right.
not able to bring these changes into your life, you may need to let go, you may need to reprogram, or both. And it might clue you in on where to start searching yourself for,
Mm-hmm.
of where that repeating pattern's coming from.
Yes.
That is a way that our soul is trying to say, hey, remember this?
Yeah.
Those areas in life that gave you fear, that is teaching you something, that is guiding you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Look
we
at this.
tend to move away from fear.
Yes.
And earlier I had mentioned that struggle, conflict, pain, loss eventually lead to wisdom.
Heck yeah.
And one of the best ways to combat fear is wisdom. That's one of your most powerful tools against fear. So if you take your wisdom and you find out why you're having fear in that area, those are usually the first places you want to start looking,
Exactly.
because your soul knows you need to do something there, and that doesn't feel stable, so we move away from it.
Right.
And really it's a guidepost saying, start here, this is right now. So fear, we shouldn't be scared of fear.
No.
We just need to understand the tool to use it properly.
Right. Turn it around to your benefit. Step out of your comfort zone. Every month this year, I have had a challenge of some sort to help you look at yourself, changes that need to be made, and saying hello to something. But in order to say hello to something, you have to say goodbye to something. It's not enough space for the things that have been in your life that you've been conditioned to do, whether if it's from childhood to present, just routines of things that you've incorporated into your life over the years. Change it. If you don't like it, change it. If you want greater, what are you willing to do? It's about strategizing, making sure why I have this, why I need to get rid of this, what I want as an outcome from giving this up. What am I gaining? The goodbye hello is very effective. And like you said, understanding where fear comes from. Why is that fear there? Assess it, tear it apart in order to get to the other side of it. And then
Bring
you
your
can
wisdom shield
celebrate.
with you.
Yeah, it's all about that. We have that armor and getting out of comfort zones. We're way too comfortable as a people, you know, and it feels good. We don't like that change. We don't like it. Opposite for myself, I embrace it. I will be the one who enjoy the change. I don't have a problem with challenges. Love them because I know I'm going to be greater at the end of it. Every challenge,
Yeah.
I'm better than I was before I started it. So you look at the gift. What
Yeah.
am I receiving from this? What is it? Fabulous. You know,
Lean into it.
lean into it.
All the good, all the good stuff is there.
That is it.
All the good stuff.
It's
Wherever it's
there.
uncomfortable, there is good stuff there.
It is.
Lean into that.
Yes. And it's so many
Get
things that
excited
change
about
every
change.
day.
If it's
Excitement is
if
there. You know, stop
putting
being
yourself out there, if
fearful.
that's getting scary, use that energy to empower yourself. With
Just do
that,
it. Just do it.
that's the good stuff in life.
Yeah, just do it. And I'm going to, challenge a whole lot of people here really soon. BUB Fabulous 365 launches in January. So
Tell
anybody
me
who's
more. This
interested
is
in,
new. I haven't heard about this yet.
I know I didn't tell you.
I can't wait.
BUB Fabulous 365. Be you, be authentic, be who you are supposed to be every day of your life. Every day,
I love that. I
you know?
love that. I live that.
Yes. And the reason I did that, again, a big brother situation. When he said to me after launching that book in 2017 and preparing myself to launch my coaching practice, I knew this was going to be coming, but the book had to be released first because it's a lot of the foundation coming from the book that's a part of the programs that I'm going to be initiating with consciousness. So, and living a conscious lifestyle takes work. It takes time. It's reprogramming your thoughts. Thoughts become things. You become attached to processes. Don't live a processed life. Don't do that. Wake up in freedom. Live your life in freedom every single day. And in order to do that, you've got to make changes. So fall in love with changes, fall in love with your life, and look out for PUB Fabulous 365. It's a 12-week program, and it's going to really help you sculpt your mind, sculpt your life in every area of it to live in freedom every day. It is mind-blowing. Little did I know by going through every month, this year with a different challenge, how it was going to grow me, stretch me, sculpt, cultivate, shape, form, every positive word, flourish, who I've become, and lost, my God, 25 pounds in the process. I didn't need that. I didn't need that. But I embrace that as well because the girl has zero, like 1% maybe of fat. Who does that? But at the same time,
Love it. Love
it's a wonderful thing. And it's doing things to better yourself, being conscious of it, pushing yourself to do it every day. And I had to be held accountable. I had to hold myself accountable. Every month of these programs that I did, these challenges, I had to blog every single night. So for 365 days by the end of December 31, I've been blogging every process of every challenge every day. That's the blueprint. And I've taken that
it. Words have
12
power.
months and brought it into 12 weeks. So you can be you and be fabulous. I'm going to feng shui your life. So it's not about placement of furniture and everything. It's just about things of skill that you can bring from other processes into your life every day, which makes you, in essence, fabulous. And you're only fabulous when you're authentically you and who you're supposed to be, living how you should be living and not stressed out, going to jobs you just don't enjoy every day. You need a freedom, and you need to give yourself permission to release yourself to break the habits and the conditioning you have set that's blocking you.
I
So
love that you use the word permission. Give yourself permission to do this.
yeah,
A
it's
lot of
okay.
times we want it. We don't give ourselves permission to really do it.
Right. Because of fear of what somebody else is going to say. Because I know it's a lot of people thought I was nuts to give up meat for a year. I couldn't have
Yep.
meat. No meat.
No bacon.
Mm-hmm. And I'd probably vomit if I ate it now. I don't even want it. I don't crave it. However, I eat seafood, but not even that so much anymore. But
Yeah.
if you take it back to how we began, didn't really have all that. That
That's
was
right.
brought into our culture. And now we're used to it and we love, like you said, bacon. Don't talk to me about bacon, Anna. I love bacon. But you know
Someone
what?
listening right now needed to hear that.
Yes,
They're like, even bacon?
even bacon. And it's okay. It is okay. It's all about transformation. It's
That's
no
right.
different than the butterfly. Look at the butterfly, what the butterfly has to go through in that process to become that beautiful butterfly. It's spending time in the cocoon. It's going through the
And if we
changes.
listen to other people,
Yeah,
they're going to be sitting there saying, "But you're a caterpillar."
yeah, yeah.
And so we can't listen to other people in matters of the heart and soul.
No. And that's what you listen to. When your spirit speaks, listen. Because it's giving you all
Otherwise,
of the
you run
great
around as a
information.
butterfly, still feeling like you're a caterpillar.
Yeah,
It doesn't work.
yeah. Yes, I like to take flight. I like to be beautiful and colorful and just have the freedom to do whatever I want in wonder and just enjoy life for what it is because we don't know how much of it we have. We don't know. So why restrict yourself to stay in a space that you don't have to be
Yeah,
in? You're only there by choice. You don't have to be there. You don't. And we'll talk all night. You know we will.
of course. Any new questions come in?
Oh my gosh. It's so
I
many.
would love to hear how this is, how people might be
Oh my God.
responding to this. Did
Yeah,
we miss a
because,
bunch?
well, we have missed a little bit, but you know what? They've already put it there, so we can always read them. Veronica Mars, keep
Perfect.
soaring because you are encouraging others to soar and helping others to find their beauty again. That was one. And then we
Love it.
have, who else do we have? I'm trying to scroll up and with these waves all at the same time. You've got an awesome Anna. We've got some amens and thank yous. That's a whoop whoop. Let's do a bird call sparrow time. So, um, Veronica also says, I am a writer, love the journaling and prayer box. A lot of amens and taking leaps, and it's encouraging. So I love after lives to go in and read all these comments and respond to them. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a wonderful thing. And I know you're already taking pre-orders for the possibility of happy. So I'm going to make sure that you
Yep.
share this information before we get offline tonight. And Veronica also says, I am clutching, working on unfolding. And that's directed to you, Anna. She said, thanks for your wisdom.
You're welcome.
Yes. And then we get a thanks, fabulous. I am trying hard to trying to step out that comfort zone. And this would be my sister. And I'm constantly getting on her. But at the same time, we have to realize that we all make steps at different times. It's all about preparation and being ready. You step when you are authentically ready to embrace whatever comes because it's going to be scary. It is not red carpet. It's not red carpet. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of time and effort. Focus on what you have to do and just be prepared to do that. Because, like you said, Veronica, fear is real and it's going to stand up in a way you've never seen before as soon as you take that leap. As soon as.
And let somebody know because
Let.
we cheer each other on. We raise
Yes.
each other up.
Yes. So don't be saying stuff out here, Veronica, that's going to make me tear up again. It's taken me the whole hour to get myself back together, and I still have red eyes. Every Sparrow is going to come on later on with the replay, like, oh my God, what in the world happened to thou? You know.
We're like, can we put a filter on the video?
Yes.
We don't need
Honey,
filters.
I started talking about Nicholas. I am a basket case. There are days I'm strong when I can talk about him, and there are times I'm not. And that's just a whole part of the process. You're never going to be the
Yeah.
same twice. And because that was real, that was something that took place, my child is no longer here. And there are times I flash back and remember his lifeless body, that gorgeous little kid, who never had opportunity to grow up. However, he's in the best place ever. That's what keeps me going, to know he's better off than all of us are. And God don't make
Oh, and
mistakes.
he's given you and the world so much.
He
I
has.
mean, there's
He
so
has.
many people that have good and light in their life
Hmm.
because he existed.
Because he existed. And I am who I am because of that experience, because of losing him. Losing him gave me life, a whole completely different life that I never expected to have at 24 years old. It changed every direction that I ever thought I would have, because no way it would have been possible for me to forward think that I would be here. No way. Mm-mm. Valerie? Oh, no. No. but very empathetic and with other people. It was always a love and compassion that I possessed when it comes to other people in pain. That is something I acknowledged as a child, to connect to people who hurt and just simply give a hug. And I do those things right now. I'll shake your hand in the beginning. However, before we separate or depart, it's a hug because you are now family to me. You're part of the family. You're a sparrow. And it's vital to have human touch, because you never know the person that you're giving that hug to, they may need that. They'll never say, but they could possibly need it. And the benefit of it, you receive one right back.
And a lot of time, you don't realize you need it.
You need it.
You're not listening to yourself.
Yes.
Once you get one of those authentic hugs,
Yes.
it just, you can see your whole world shift.
Exactly. And you know that was one of
And
the
they
challenges.
share the load for a second.
Yeah, it was one of the challenges. It was hugs. It was 1 month of hugs. Hug a
Oh,
perfect
I love it.
stranger.
I love it.
Yeah. And that's like, girl, you crazy. You're going to hug a perfect stranger? Absolutely. Because you never know. I always ask permission. Like, hey, I have a hugs challenge going on. Do you need a hug? Would you like one? Oh my God, yes. And then they hold on for the longest time, almost until it's uncomfortable. So that goes to show who needs something as simple as a hug or a smile or a gesture of kindness. Show some compassion and love to the perfect stranger. Our society has come to the point to where nobody really cares the way they should care. I see you, Anna, but I don't. So if you're in trouble, Anna, I'm just going to take my camera out and video it. I'm not going to help you though. That's the craziness. Put the phones down and be a true citizen. Do something to help somebody else. It's okay to care. Everything that needs to hit social media.
You know, the same things that can disconnect us, we can use to bring us together.
Absolutely.
So if social media is making you feel disconnected from everyone,
Yes.
start looking for other ways to actually bring meaning
Exactly.
to your communications.
Exactly. Turn it off. Another one. Turn that off, please. There is light
That
on
might,
the other side of the screen. Leave your house. Stop putting up fakes and facades. You're not that's online all the time. The truth comes out. And, we've lost so many people who are on camera, who are personalities. They commit suicide. They do silly things like that. And it's heartbreaking, because we think they're okay. But nobody reached out and physically talked to them. They just followed them and liked them every day. But the phone never rang to have a conversation. They never rang the bell to visit them at their home, to see how they're truly living. So those are conscious efforts to step outside of yourself and show love for somebody else. It's a what would Jesus do kind of thing.
one of the great things Tom does
Yes.
is he'll ask you how you're doing.
Yeah.
And we all have this facade that's propping us up. We say that, like, fine, oh, good, good. And then he goes, okay, now that that's out of the way, how are you doing?
Love
And
that.
most people don't have anything after that. And you can see the walls come down a little bit. And that's removing tension for somebody
Yes.
that they didn't even realize was
Right.
squeezing them.
Yes. Just saying what comes naturally. I'm good. You're not always good.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are some people who ask, how are you doing? And they're not serious. They don't really want to hear how you are because they're in that fast lane to even hear. So it's a murmur in essence. But if you're going
It's
to
hard.
ask the
It's hard to do
question,
small talk even nowadays
yeah,
because when you see the struggle
yeah,
and it's, hey, we don't need to do things that are just getting us to the next thing you've got to do for the day.
yeah,
When you actually care about that response, it doesn't mean you need to take all day.
right.
It could change someone's world to just pause for a second. Hey, how are you really doing?
Be
So if
sincere.
you get an inkling,
Yeah, That's sincerity.
If you anything you do with love and respect, it's going to go fine.
Yes.
It's going to be good.
Yes. Step outside of yourself. Slow down and be present. Consciousness is hand in hand
Love
with
it.
happiness. And at the end of the day, it equals fabulous. It really does. It does. It gives you reasons to smile. No matter how horrible something has happened in your life, it's always a reason to smile. The sun comes up the next day, joy comes, you know. Just be sure you can see it. Be sure to see the flowers and smell and everything that's before you, and stop rushing past to get to the next thing. Slow down.
The possibility of
The
fabulous.
possibility is right there. It's right, it's before you, you know?
Yeah, we already are. We just covered all of it.
Yeah.
We wake up already fabulous, and we spend the rest of the day kind of messing that
Oh yeah. Yeah. Tearing yourself apart. You know?
up.
Hashtag stop it. So, you know, it's not worth it. Stop being suicide to yourself. Have a mirror moment and have a reassessment every single day. It does not take long. If it doesn't feel good, change it. That simple. Commit to it and
Yeah,
do it. So anybody who comes on later, watch the replay. Be sure to put hashtag replay. Be sure to let us know where you're viewing from. All of that good stuff. And I promise you that we will respond to every note that has come into this room on this night. And we're so grateful that Anna has come out and she's joined us with all of this great information. I love having other coaches and authors to come into the room, because there are times I get tired of talking. I love to have, a like mind in the room that we can kind of play tennis off of each other and share some great nuggets with you. And in the event, you feel like you need a coach in any area, just reach out to one of us. That's all you have to do. It's that simple. Reach out to better yourself. You're worth it. It's an investment. If you can invest in Michael Kors, you can invest in everything else that's pricey. You can invest in your life that's actually worth it. That's the way I
absolutely.
see it. You are worth giving yourself the absolute best. That's it. So Anna, please do us the favor of letting us know where we can pre-order our books.
Yes, the publisher that I'm going through is the publishing company I'm a graphic designer for, and I do a little bit of marketing for, and that's CBA Publishing Services LLC.
Okay.
And the newly launched e-store is at cbapub.com/store, and there's a link to do pre-order there. As we get closer to releasing some advanced reader copies, we may shift the pre-order over to another platform.
Okay.
But the book will be available on Amazon and everywhere. And February, March is where it's targeted for right now, so that we can get the right wisdom as solid as we can for everybody.
Yeah.
So pre-orders, we have a Square up for the payment processing, so any of your normal payment methods are going to move through there just fine. And if there's any trouble, you could just message directly and we can work out a pre-order manually. So if you don't want to do the online thing.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good.
but yep, that's it. cbapub.com/store.
Thank you so much
Click
for
on
that.
pre-orders. Absolutely.
And whenever you have a chance, because like I said, it's going to be quite a few messages for us to have the joy of going in and responding to. So if you could just comment and put that information in,
Absolutely.
or shoot it over to me and I'll put it in, so that way it's there and they can always watch the replay and retrieve that and get in touch with you if they had to do so. So I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me tonight. Oh my gosh. You
I
saw
am
me
honored to
cry.
be here with you.
Yay. I'm just so thrilled. And we're going to have you come back when the book is released. I want you to hold that
Would
baby
love
up.
to.
I want you to hold that copy up in the air, and and then we can recap on quite a few things, you know. So I got to keep you in the loop on some
That'll
things
be
that's
amazing.
going about. Okay. So I'm going to say thank you,
Awesome.
Sparrows, for coming into the room. Love you too,
Thank you,
Veronica.
everybody.
Thank you all for coming. And as always, I want to say love without conditions. Always possess a positive attitude and soar in all you do. I love you, mean it. Smooches. Thank you, Anna. I'll give you a jingle.
Peace and possibilities.
Peace and possibilities.
Bye.
Bye. I'll talk to you probably tomorrow. Okay.
Fantastic.
Smooches. Good night.
Night.